Good morning. Welcome to Nobody Asked Me But. For today, this is Sunday. It's my wife, Myra.
Good morning.
Good morning. You know, we apologize. We've been offline a little bit. Nobody asked me buts, but some things have been coming up. We've been busy. And I know a couple of y'all been asking me where the Nobody Asked Me Buts are. And so here they go right here. Today is June 3rd, July 3rd. Tomorrow's the 4th of July. We're up here in Northern Virginia. Came up to celebrate with my niece. I graduated from high school. They had a big soiree yesterday. We had a ball with a big soiree. Nothing like family. But I do want to touch on something very important today. And I normally try to stay away from these subject matters because they are controversial. But yeah, I'm going to go out there today. You know, 4th of July. Frederick Douglass did a speech years ago about the 4th of July and what it meant to the black man. I invite y'all to look that up and you know, really scrutinize that Frederick Douglass speech because he captures the essence of what's going on. The Bible itself says that we're not battling with flesh and blood, we're battling with principalities. Stop right there. Principalities, we're talking about governments. We're talking about governments. And this government was formed by a bunch of greedy, ruthless, redneck, well, that's not necessarily redneck, but rich, powerful Europeans and the King of England, actually the King of England. And this dude was in the process of trying to colonize the whole world. Chattel slavery was put in effect, of which we were victimized. We were dehumanized. That government is still in effect today.
Yes.
And so with that government, and I'm going to go back to the battle is not with flesh and blood. We wonder why, we see mixed couples all the time, and I applaud mixed couples. Mixed couples have figured out that they're not fighting with any individual person. You know what I mean? They don't have a problem falling in love. A black man doesn't have any problem falling in love with a white man, a white woman. Nowadays, a white man. But it's definitely not a color thing on on our level. But on the governmental level, it clearly is a color thing. You know what I mean? What our government does and what it has always done is legislated what's right and what's wrong, and then teach people that if they say it's right, then it's right, and if they say it's wrong, then it's wrong. I'm going to give you a quick example of that. Not that I want to be all over the place, but there are many people in jail right now, especially black people that were in the ghettos and hustling small amounts or just smoking small amounts of weed, small amounts of cocaine, small amounts of heroin, do joints. I saw a guy on the news the other day that got 26 years. He had two different, he got charged 2 times, and each time he had 1 joint. He's in jail for 20 years now. Now we look around and the government is re-legislating whether marijuana is legal or not. And in that process now, rich people are jumping in on this thing and making, bunches of dollars on something that poor black people are serving 20 and 30 years for. You know what I mean? A governmental a switch, a legislation move that makes now them brothers that are in jail for the 2 joints, they ain't getting out.
No.
And they got to sit there and watch all these dudes in Colorado, Seattle, all these places that are making weed legal now, you know what I mean, make money on something that was criminalized on the lowest level. For us, again, principalities, legislation. All right. So as we come into this 4th of July tomorrow, and they want to celebrate and our troops and all of that, please be aware that you don't see any wars being fought on our soil. Now, am I a patriot? Sure I am. This is home. I want to be clear about this. The United States of America is my home. It has always been my home. I've traveled while I was in the military. There's no place else I want to live. But just because I believe and I love the United States of America does not make it right in what it's doing. All you have to do is, your Fergusons, your Trayvon Martins, your young lady, the person playing with the gun up in I think it was Ohio, getting killed. This is going on. We see the young man on the BET Awards speaking on it. And then Viacom, of course, cut that off. Are we to be ignorant enough to believe that racial equality is in place?
No.
Of course not. We're not supposed to be that. Now, here's my problem though. Our government legislates it to such a point that white people, people of European descent, their saving grace is that they're not black. They just feel, okay, well, at least I'm not black. I might be poor, but at least I'm not black. You know what I mean? Because they realize that our plight is far worse than anyone's plight here in the Americas. And so as I speak to you today, young people, I say educate yourself. Know who you are on the smallest level. No one was around. Trust me when I tell you this. Your parents were there when they made you, but no one knows the exact second and the time that you was created. Nobody. Nobody. If that was known, you would never see anybody in court talking about who's the father. Maury Povich wouldn't have a show. None of these people would have a show if everybody knew exactly the time when you was created. Nobody knows that. And when you was created, you was infant. You was just so small. You was so small. You was a cell. You was a cell when you was born. And the nature of life is to grow. The way they could tell whether you was alive or dead from the time you was conceived was whether you were growing or not. This is true of every living thing. This is true, it will be true to you till you die. When your physical body stops growing, that does not mean that your mentality stops growing. That does not that your wisdom continues to grow. Everything continues to grow. So, in order to function here in the United States, what one has to do is begin to grow and grow and grow to a point where you understand what's around you. You know who you are. I looked up the other day, I'm 55 years old. For some reason, I'm just now looking up who the heck was president when I was born. It kind of shocked me, but it was Dwight D. Eisenhower. Dwight D. Eisenhower. You know, and I have newspaper clippings, and I always have had newspaper clippings of when I was born. I have always had those. You know, different things that were going on racially at the time I was born. You know, during that era when I was born, I see the guy in Florida pouring a bad chemical in a pool that the black people were in. You know, these things, fire hoses. These were the first images that we saw.
Yes.
These are the first images we saw were during that civil rights, so-called civil rights.
Getting hosed down.
Getting hosed down. These are the first images that we saw. And now as I sit here, I'm 55 years old. I'm not going to say what my wife is, just a touch older than me.
I'm 58.
58, all right? But as we sit here some 55, 58 years later, those images are the same.
Yes.
We still see dogs biting on black people. We still see people getting killed. We still get sacked, beating up people. This thing has not changed. So in my mind, you know, all this 4th of July stuff is cool. I like the day off. I'm not going to lie to you. I like having a day off. And I am patriotic when it comes to my country. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not going to sit here and act like the United States is such a lovely place that, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. Untrue. All you got to do is flip on your news.
Yeah.
All you got to do is flip on your news. And the world, the news in our country frustrates people sometimes to the point where white, black, green, or otherwise, these dudes go out and grab guns and just start shooting people. What the government is not telling you is that, yes, a lot of these people are lunatics, a lot of people are crazy, but our government and what they allow and what they let happen scares the pee out of a lot of people, and they just think that everybody's against them.
Right.
I'm just going to go kill all the gay people. You know, gay people ain't did nothing. But
All
our
black
government,
people.
I'm going to go kill all black people. I'm going to go to church and
All
I'm going to kill a bunch of
Hispanics.
black people. It's because these people have been scared the pee out of them through this principality that we call a government. All right? What I'm asking you to do is be strong, no matter how old you are, no matter what your age is, no matter who you're married to. You know, allow, you know, certain things. Scripture, Bible says the battle is not, we're not fighting flesh and blood. So therefore, continue. If you meet this white woman and you fall in love with the white woman, boom, boom. Power to you.
As long as you love each other and treat each other right.
Boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? If you're a gay dude, I don't really know about it. I'm not gay, so I can't speak to it. And that's the part that kills me, too. People speak to things that they don't know anything about.
Right.
I'm not gay, so how can I speak to it? But I do know this. If I was gay, I sure wouldn't want to be running around with my head in the sand, hiding in closets, begging. And I definitely wouldn't want to be scared that some dude was going to shoot me because of my choice.
Right.
You know what I mean? We live in a country that is a great country. Our freedoms are fantastic around here. You know, I was in the Navy, and I still work for the U.S. government. I still work on Navy ships, and I fix them, and trust me, when I fix a ship, I make sure that bad boy is ready to go, you know, because I have lived on a ship, and I've had to depend on it to work right. So when our sailors go to war, trust me, I want to make sure with every button they push and everything they do, it lights off, and it does what it's supposed to do. But does that make our country correct in how they treat people?
No.
Does it make our country correct in how they legislate different things with what's legal and what's not legal? Does that make it right?
No.
No, it does not. But be proud to be an American. Be proud to be an American, but don't be stupidly proud to be an American. Bumping your head trying to figure out what's going on. America is a government. It is a principality. And if you're a person who believes in Scripture, then you would know that that principality is something that's fighting against you all the time. It's a machine. It was a machine that was set in place by the kings of England and these money people. It was set in place. It has not changed. As my wife and I just said, the images that we saw when we were kids have only changed to modernize. Now they're wearing modern clothes. Right. We still see sit-ins. We're still marching on D.C. We're still marching. We're still fighting for what we call equality. We're still fighting for rights, gay rights, civil rights, women's rights. Well, if we're fighting for gay rights, civil rights, women's rights, doesn't it let you know that the country has been ran and always been dominated by and men of money, not just men.
Men of money.
Men of money. Men of money, men of power.
Yes.
All right? Men of money, men of power. That's what our principalities are. We do, yes, we got some black people. We got a black president and whatnot. But as you can see, Trayvon Martin and all these dudes still died under his watch. Mm-hmm. Nothing changed for us under his watch. And I'm not faulting Brother Obama. Did a great job. I thought it was fantastic in there. Beautiful. I thought he took a lot of heat in there. He was the president of the United States, y'all, not the president of black people. Okay, he got a job. He was the president. If you're a welder, your boss tells you to weld, you weld. If you're the president, the country's your boss. It tells you to do this, you do this. So he did a fantastic job. We enjoyed him as a president. But I want to tell you now, going into this 4th of July, be knowledgeable of your country. Be knowledgeable of your principality. Be knowledgeable of your local principality. You know, a lot of people don't even know Emancipation Proclamations, all these different things. What's about? What's going on? You know, is everybody going to study this kind of stuff? No. No, everybody's not going to study this kind of stuff at all. But I say to you now, love your neighbor. The Bible says love your neighbor as you love yourself, right? If you loved your neighbor as you loved yourself, I wouldn't be having this conversation that we're having right now, right? But you don't. People are selfish. And you're going to have to grab a little selfishness. Y'all heard me talking about this a little while. On the micro side, you know, the world is the huge, the universe is the huge, but you are the one. You are the one. And if things aren't going right in your life and you don't understand what's going on and you keep bumping your head in this government, then you need to go in there and investigate who you really are and believe what your eyes see, believe what your ears hear, and believe what your heart tells you about our country and our government. Yes, I love the United States. I ain't going nowhere else to live.
Yeah, figure out how you fit in.
Figure out how you fit in. Figure out what you want to do. Figure out how you want to be prosperous or whatever it is. Everybody's not chasing money contrary to popular belief, even though this is a capitalist society. And in a capitalist society, there's either two people. Those who are capitalizing and those who are being capitalized upon. And in this society right now, the black man has been more capitalized upon than anyone else in this country. We have been capitalized upon by the capitalist. It's just that simple. I don't know. What else can I say about that?
I had a young white girl one time to tell me that, oh man, I feel sorry for y'all. Y'all have been treated so bad, and you still aren't treated equally.
Yeah.
Equally.
Yeah. You know what they're saying there? I'm still on top of you.
Yeah.
You're still not even treated equal because I'm on top of you. Don't worry about it. I feel so bad for you because you're not equal with me, but I'm not, hey, it is what it is. I'm up here, you're down there. So, again, love your country. Be a patriot. Don't ever be prejudiced against any individual. Any individual. People are people.
People are people.
People are people. A white woman could just love me. I don't know if anybody could love me like Myra does, but I would throw it out there and say maybe one could, possibly, I don't know. But I've never just walked around saying I'm only dating this and I'm only dating that. I just never did that. That's just me. I've never did that. But I've also never been stupid enough to realize that all people aren't the same.
No.
They weren't raised the same. They weren't raised by the same people. They weren't taught by the same people. But this government that we live in is over all of us. So therefore, be knowledgeable of what this government is doing. Again, these things are continuing to happen. If you're a black person, I specifically speak to the black people today. It ain't changed, y'all. It ain't changed. Don't let nobody tell you it has. It has not changed.
We never will.
Turn on your news every night. Now they're saying, we're killing ourselves, the black on black crime. Don't be tricked up by that either. Black on black crime is no different than white on white crime. The black people ain't running into white neighborhoods to shoot white people. The white people ain't running down too much in the black people. You don't see a white people running through the ghetto talking about we taking our brothers. No, they're not doing that.
That's the KKK.
Then even the KKKs ain't going to no ghettos taking nobody out.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no brothers, ain't nobody running into ghettos shooting nothing. You know what I mean? Why? Because they don't really care about you because you broke down there according to them. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't worried about that. White on white crime is just as prevalent. Black on black crime, Spanish on Spanish crime. Why? Because that's who you're around.
Crime is crime.
Well, that's who you're around. So you gotta kill the people you're around. Don't be fooled by this black on black crime. Now, is the black on black crime way too much? You daggone right. But we're frustrated. We got no jobs. You know? Think about this, and I'm gonna close on this. Think about this. Three or four black guys standing around downtown. They've been applying for jobs. They got these 2-cent felonies that are keeping them from getting any jobs, right? Everywhere they go, they can't get a job. But they got a child. All of them have a child. These dudes are frustrated. And they're standing around, and you know, the idle mind now is the devil's workshop. So they're standing around and they're just as frustrated. They get in an argument with each other about, you know, oh man, you stepped on my foot. Oh man, you stepped on my foot. Boom. But they all got guns. Oh man, you stepped on my foot. And then next, you know, one of them's dead about another. These are frustration killings. Y'all don't. These are frustration killings. You know, these brothers are fed up, they're tired, they're frustrated, they're walking around, they're time bombs. They're literally time bombs. I'm scared to get in an argument with anybody young right now because they're frustrated, they're literally time bombs. If I get in an argument, well, I just don't let them go. All right, man, go ahead, it's you.
And they're getting younger.
And they're getting running. Principalities cause this. Our government causes this. It took about 400 years, over 400 years to get where we are now. Trust me, y'all, this ain't changing overnight. Just because you bought a nice car doesn't mean you got freed from anything. Just because you got a job and you financed you a sweetie house, that don't mean anything's going to change. And rich black people will tell you that. When they're out there, their kids struggle just as much. They're even more scared. Because they're sending their kid out there, 16, 17 years old, and this George, he's driving a sweet car. He's going to get stopped. He's going to get stopped. So we're worried about that. But enjoy your 4th of July. Enjoy your fireworks. I know I'm going to enjoy mine. And I just wanted to put a word out there that principalities, y'all. Principalities, and it ain't changed that much. Is that no?
No.
We'll talk to you later.
Have a blessing.